Today we're going to be comparing the two largest Uppababy models, the classic Vista V2 and the new Ridge, just in case you've settled on Uppababy as a brand, but you're not fully clear on how the differences between these two models will play out in your own situation. So let's get started then, examining the advantages and disadvantages of each model with relation to child comfort, ease of use, drivability and longevity, and then concluding with an exploration of which environments and lifestyles each will best suit. And beginning with the Vista V2, the model clocks in at 12.4 kilos and folds down to 44 by 65 by 84.5 centimeters, with the seat attached. As far as child comfort is concerned, the Vista's main seat is built using a rigid frame bucket design with an adjustable leg rest, and size-wise has a width of 32 centimeters and a total length of 104.5 centimeters, determined by adding up the lengths of the backboard, baseboard, leg rest, and space beneath the canopy, making the model most comfortable for children up to 3 or 3.5. When it comes to parent comfort, the Vista has a handle that's adjustable between 100 and 108 centimeters high, and a huge and very accessible shopping basket, which, when combined with the ability to raise up the seat using adapters, makes the Vista one of the best base of operations models out there, with the capacity to pack loads of day trip gear or haul a ton of groceries without losing maneuverability. In addition, the Vista is very intuitive to use, both in terms of activating all its various functions, such as folding, reversing the seat, using the brakes and swivel locks, and so on, and is also top-notch when it comes to driving, where, in the model's one-child configuration, the Vista is right up there at the top of the market for reversible seat four-wheeled models, having decent off-road capabilities, with its slightly above-average front wheel size, sturdy build, and most importantly, its suspension-loaded support struts, allowing it to tackle gravel, cobblestones, dirt roads, and so on without problems. The Vista can of course also be configured for 2 children, though this does cause the model to lose driving performance as the extra front-loaded weight makes it heavier to steer and tip, as well as reducing its off-road capabilities in that the model becomes more difficult to wrestle over obstacles. Looking lastly at longevity, the Vista is very sturdy for the most part, having been improved over a long succession of iterations, and being built both with design simplicity and strength of materials in mind, and as a result, larger problems with the overall chassis are quite rare, though we do occasionally encounter wear problems with the brake system and swivel locks, generally resulting from a lack of lubrication. Moving on, the Ridge weighs about a kilo more than the Vista, and folds down to a larger 51 by 65 by 90 centimeters, without removing the rear wheels. Its seat is also larger than the Vista's though, with a width of 38 centimeters and a length of 115, the result of not needing to accommodate the dimensions of a reversible seat frame, which extends the maximum age for full comfort up until around 4 years old or so in my opinion. And the model's seat also differs from the Vista in the fact that the backboard is adjustable in relation to the baseboard, giving the Ridge a near full recline, though unfortunately without a raisable leg rest. When it comes to the height of the handle, the Ridge has a greater degree of adjustability, with a low position similarly around a meter high, but a high position of 118 centimeters. The Ridge also has a large and accessible shopping basket, but, though it's better than on most other three-wheelers, it is a bit smaller than that on the Vista. The model's fold is easier though, since it's a one-hand, one-step action without the need to adjust the leg rest. And as far as all the rest of the model's mechanisms are concerned, they feel very much like the Vista, since, as with most manufacturers, Uppababy maintains a relatively consistent style for things like the swivel lock, which is also that same ballpoint button on the top type system, and the static brake, which is still flip-flop friendly, despite the model being built to go places you probably shouldn't use flip-flops. And the Ridge also has a couple of extra features as well, added to better facilitate jogging, in the form of a dynamic handbrake for quicker stopping when running or going down hills, and a dial for adjusting the tilt on the front wheel for correcting how straight the stroller runs with the swivel lock engaged. And driving-wise, the Ridge is on a whole different level than the Vista, having similar amazing suspension, but a more streamlined chassis and much larger wheels, 16 inches in the back and 12 in the front, which allow it to go beyond to handle off-road jogging and rougher rock and root-strewn hiking conditions. It's difficult to judge wear issues on the Ridge, since the stroller is so new, but in my opinion, the model is unlikely to suffer from any serious loosening issues with the core of the chassis, though, due to the increased rigors of hiking and jogging that the stroller is likely to be subjected to, I do anticipate that some smaller elements in the front wheel housing may need to be swapped out down the line, and the rear frame will likely require regular maintenance, both lubrication and adjusting things like the tension in the brake wire. And, if you will be removing the rear wheels often, it will be necessary to be careful not to damage the discs for the dynamic brake system when they're exposed. So, which of these two models is the right one for you then? Despite some obvious similarities, both models being on the larger, heavier side, and thus not being ideal with regards to trunk space or the need to carry your stroller upstairs, both having great storage capacity, and both doing well over rougher ground, though the Ridge does excel in this last regard quite significantly over the Vista. The Ridge is definitely a bit more of a specialist in my opinion, and should be purchased by someone who really needs its added terrain capabilities and/or its larger seat. While the Vista, by contrast, offers a bit more versatility with its reversible seat, its tandem option, and its slightly smaller folded size. In any case, we hope you found this video useful, and if you did, we ask you subscribe, as it helps us to continue making videos in the future. If you'd like to know more about either of these models, we have standalone reviews for both of them that go into a bit more detail, and links have been added in the description. In addition, if you are currently shopping for a stroller, we have a buyer's guide on our Patreon page which lists a wide range of models that we recommend, with a lot of technical and lifestyle related information. You can find that by following the link in the description as well. Thank you.